I was on a dive the other day and this happened. Yep, my head is leaking. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Divers Ready. My name's James. It is so great to see all of your smiling faces out there in YouTube land. If you're new to our channel, make your next dive on our subscribe button and click that little bell icon, because we make videos with one simple goal in mind, and that's to help make you a better and more well-informed diver. Troubling times, guys. Long story short, I was on a dive the other day. We were on descent, my buddy and I felt a strange sensation, like there were bubbles coming out of my ears. So I made the following sequence of signs to my buddy, and they looked at me completely confused. And then they finally triggered that I had bubbles coming out of my ear, and I handed them my GoPro, and they kindly shot that video clip that you saw in the introduction there. Yeah, bubbles coming out of my ears. I breathe in through my mouth, it comes out the side of my head. Surely not good. Now, understand, I don't believe I did anything wrong. There were no out of control descents, there was no failure to equalize, there was no over forceful equalization effort. We were doing a whole week of diving. The previous dive, no bubbles coming out the side of my head, everything fine. The next dive, bubbles coming out the side of my head basically as soon as we started to descend. It was that simple, that quick, and to be honest, there was no pain. Now, I showed the video to a friend of mine, Mohan, who is both a doctor and a diver, and he gave it some careful medical consideration and came to the conclusion that shit is definitely not right. Mohan was kind enough to recommend that I go and see an ENT, and he had one in the hospital in which he worked that he recommended in particular. Thanks for that again, Mohan. So off I went to go and see this ear specialist who's, you know, been in the trade for a long time, was an army doctor before, and is really like, you know, the top ear specialist in Miami. I showed him the video, showed him the bubbles video. He calls in his whole department, everyone in the department, all the doctors, all the interns, all the physician's assistants, the nurses, everyone. Tiny little treatment room, all passing around my cell phone. Ooh, damn! Watching bubbles come out of my ears. Hey guys, yeah, when the entertainment value has passed, can we get back to fixing the leak in my head, please? Once the audience had left the room, the ENT actually looked in my ear with a microscope and had me equalize at the same time, and determined that I have a detached or separated eardrum. Basically, the top part of my eardrum has become detached from the supporting muscle around it, meaning that gas can leak out from my middle ear. The underlying cause of this is probably an ear infection that I got just after Christmas. I took some antibiotics, cleared up, went away. Occupational hazard. But the chances are that infection left behind some debris behind the eardrum, and then the pressure of equalization, and as I said, been doing a whole ton of diving this January, caused the eardrum to actually rip a little bit and detach from its anchoring muscle. I then went for a hearing test, and much to the disbelief of my wife, it was shown that my hearing hasn't deteriorated at all. Okay, so what are my treatment options? Well, the first thing to have done is the most conservative course of action, which is basically to go in through the outside of the ear and put a little paper patch over the tear in a procedure that's called myringoplasty. So essentially it's like a little piece of cigarette paper, they cut it, they put a little bit of medical glue in, they literally go in through the outside of the ear, stick this piece of paper over the gap, and that basically forms a bonding agent that your body can naturally heal. Easy enough, it's a 10 to 30 minute procedure, and I need about 4 weeks out of the water to recover. Okay, 4 weeks, that's not too severe, we can do that, we can make it happen. Sure, body heals itself, eventually that little piece of paper just falls off, comes out in the shower or on my pillow while I'm asleep. If that doesn't take Then they have to go in and fix the ear from the interior. So the next option there is a little bit more of a major surgery. They're basically going to reservoir dogs me, go in behind the eardrum, clean up any of that infection debris, and stitch, glue, patch from the inside, and then sew my ear back on. Now that has two major downsides. Number one, it's about 10 weeks out of the water to recover from that. And there's a chance that the surgery itself could damage my ability to equalize at all. That means no more diving, no more getting on airplanes. I wouldn't be able to equalize this ear at all. In the words of Blackadder, I believe the phrase rhymes with clucking bell. Anyway, my YouTube family, I'm going to start with the more conservative approach. The paper patch, that's already been scheduled for February the 22nd. All my students for the 4 weeks after that period have already been rescheduled. And I want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much, guys, for your understanding and your flexibility. And then we see. Of course, I'm going to give you guys an update. I'll probably do that in the channel update at the end of February. And that hopefully will be the end of it. Patch it up, fix it up, problem solved, move on, let's go diving. In the meantime, the ENT said he was perfectly happy for me to keep diving on two conditions. Number one, that I can always equalize easily and that it doesn't become painful anyway. And number two, that I use alcohol drops after every dive to make sure I don't get any more infections in that middle ear, which I do anyway after every dive, and I still got an infection. So I don't know how much truth there is in that, but we'll see. Heavy days. If there's any value that I can share with you guys watching this video, it's this. Ladies and gentlemen, look after your ears. If you're a regular diver, develop good diving practices, because I thought I had good diving practices in my ears. I use ear drops after every dive to kill any nasties with the alcohol and help dry the ear so I didn't get infections, and yet I still got an infection. So you really need to do everything possible to prevent messing your ears up from diving, because I'm on a precipice of potentially a career-ending surgery, and that's a little bit scary because this is really the only thing I've ever been any good at. I'd also recommend for every regular diver out there to go and see a primary care physician and get an appointment with an ENT, an ear specialist. Ears are complicated things, they're delicate organs, and we abuse the hell out of them with the pressure and the equalization that we subject them to. So a good checkup from an ENT really wouldn't hurt. Have them clear out your ears, have them tidy yourself up, and just generally check your ear health. I mean, it's certainly something moving forwards I'm going to do preventatively. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Click that little bell icon if you haven't done so already. If you've got any kind of knowledge from this video, please feel free to give it the old thumbs up. And yeah, guys, just take care of yourself out there. I'm still kicking, and we'll see you on the next one. Dive safe, dive often.